Holiday season, no volume, no trades. Regardless, let's decode some value. Let's go. Good evening, trader friends. No trades for me today, but regardless of that, I said I was going to do 30 days of decoding value. Well, today was the trading day, so let's get into it. So, very obviously, market is very balanced. Nonetheless, and also like volume is dropping off quite significantly. So we had like 370K. Here we had 290 here and probably less today. So this is one of the reasons our edge diminishes quite a lot. And this is also the reason why we should not really be trading this very aggressively or at all. I didn't trade today anymore. Tomorrow we got a half day. Thursday we got holiday. So yeah, the week is basically done. But yeah, regardless, let's see what's up. So as always, I'm just gonna mark out the levels from the prior session to make things a little bit more easy to read. So the highs, the lows, I got value high, which I'm gonna make a different color. Now I'm gonna copy this one. Copy this one. Doesn't want to copy, please. Can I get a okay, there we go. Thank you. Value area low. Like prior sessions, value was so tight, right? And then we have the point of control of this session. This on its own is for me good enough reason to basically not trade. Let's remove our summary for a minute. We still have that gap we were talking about yesterday. Properties, white. This one. So we have the high, the low of prior session, we got value and its point of control. We still have that gap. The one yesterday didn't close. We tried to, upon open, failed to do so. And then we basically start chopping around, creating this very tight balance zone. What was interesting today upon open was that the overnight was pushing towards that gap, but it didn't close it. Very interesting again. At this point, I'm losing interest in trading the gap. The trade probably was inside the overnight from these levels and or potentially upon open. But yeah, at this point, I'm losing interest in this gap. Some more point for me. The edge is starting to diminish. In my opinion, it's still valid if price ever were to go there. Yeah, but at this point, yeah. Let's see what we got here. So prior balance here, and we're opening up right here. So we're opening up out of value. So we're opening up with a slight imbalance in price. So this gives us the opportunity or for price to show us weakness upon open. So we can see it rejects the value and then trades lower, and or if we find buyers to drop back into value and then do a complete value rotation of the prior value area and go from there. But yeah, the value area was that small. Like if I show that in a minute on my 1 minute chart, it does not make sense. Like the edge is just, it plays out that quickly that yeah, Regardless, important levels for me to note here is from the overnight session. So the overnight session traded one time frame lower than the prior RTH session, meaning that we traded below the prior session here. And I was looking at this distribution in the X's, and this is the high volume node. This becomes the last zone of defense for the buyers. Right? If price were to, as in this example, it sells off, it regains, and then find buyers against that level, yeah, this is good for longs, and vice versa. If price were to sell off and use it as resistance, obviously this would be a good trade location towards that gap close. But yeah, we did the opposite upon open today. I was watching it, but yeah, no trading for me, at least on my live account. So basically what I want to do is I want to put more focus on that high volume node than the low from the prior session. Even though they're both valid, I'd rather put my focus on where the volume is. So this becomes basically a line in the sand for me. Right, so I get all the levels marked out. Now I want to zoom in on my 1 minute chart. Right. So first of all, this huge candle on the 1 minute was the opening price. Maybe I can mark this one off with a little bit of a box. Yeah. So this was the 1 minute opening range. Keep in mind, so this was the gap close. This was the gap close. The red line was the high volume node from the overnight, which was going to be the line in the sand for me upon open. Market opened up immediately. It's for me, it's there's no trade here. This is just how many points up, 40, like 60 points, 60 point candle. Yeah, no trades for me here. You also see, like, when price gets back into prior value, it's this small. Like we did the whole value rotation in less than 30 seconds. So the edge here is just diminished a lot. Obviously there's like setups to be made. You see the trap buyers on the high end of value, for example. But yeah, not a big fan of trading these days with low volume. I know it's hard to not trade and just sit on the sidelines, but I think this is what saves us money and it keeps our account healthy. Regardless, I'm just doing the recap to show, or to keep for myself, to keep in touch with the market, and you can see the levels still are very valid. Market drops back into value, sells off again, comes back to the low. This high volume node on that overnight session here just held it up perfectly. Yes, you can take trades from this. You see the absorption of the sellers. Market's trying to buy, buyer step in. Yes, there's trades to be made here, but is it worth the risk? I mean, if you get in trouble and you get like 1 or 2 stop outs and you want to make your money back, how are you gonna do this in this market condition? It's very hard. So I'd rather stay away from this. There's plenty of trades to be made next year, so let's focus on that. Yeah, regardless, market's very balanced. One thing I did want to put out here is, if I remove my profiles and just remove all my levels for a minute. And then we go fixed profile and create the range, right? So at this point, for me, the excess here of value, and the same for the downside. screen then, and then oh, this one red, right? So if balance is here, the value area, and price is trying to push outside of it, like as you can see here, the again the same principle as before, the higher volume node in the excess zone becomes the line in the sand for the buyers and the sellers. So especially on days like this with low volume, I don't really want to do that much business in this range, or ideally from these profiles, if you draw it like this, if you can be a seller in these areas or a buyer here, then you're good, but everything in between is good to get chopped the fuck up, right? Regardless, I want to see price trade above those areas of high volume, and I want to see continuation, and then afterwards I potentially want to trade, but I don't want to be being chopped up in this price action. And same thing for the other side, like if we sell off and we start rejecting the higher volume node of the excess of this profile session, this fixed range, then I'm probably getting back interested in the game, and that's probably gonna be for next week. Yeah, not much to say anymore about this market. Low volume, holiday season. Yeah, enjoy these days. Be with your loved ones. Leave the screens. Don't be like me. And yeah, I'll see you all on the next one.